that equation, Backlash, it doesn't come up to where his personal self-respect would be.
And you know what? He was broke. After he got the title stripped, after he had his boxing license taken away, he was broke. I mean, he was like working in a gas station. That's not just in the movie. That's in books.
Yeah.
You know, he was living in like dive hotels and stuff, just trying to keep himself going.
Right.
Arian asked a question on the chat room. Though.
Sure.
Question: what do you think of his conflicting views of civil rights for blacks and equality of women in sports, especially boxing? Of his many children, he had only 2 boys. The only one who is a boxing champion, undefeated, I might add, is one of his daughters, who was the fantastic Layla Ali.
Nice.
Who is not only beautiful, she is a strong, beautiful mother, and she will whoop your ass.
Most moms will.
Yes, she will. But this one especially, she will whoop your ass. I mean,
what do I think of his conflicting views?
I didn't know he had conflicting views.
I'll give the short answer to that.
Okay.
There was a time naturally when people's views radically conflicted with what we consider to be a societal norm now.
Like?
Let's just go back to the popular favorite, racism. Okay.
Yeah.
At one time, we were seen as animals, property. Okay. Help. We weren't seen as people. Now, racism still exists, but we're seen as people. Okay, think about one of the most racist phrases you can hear.
Except for Mike Tyson.
People. You see, it has changed.
Right.
So I'm thinking that it would almost be partially sorry. I think it would almost be partially unfair to judge his views then on our values now.
Okay.
Because I do believe that it is possible to have great ideas in the past and still be misguided, because in the past we're still learning. In the present, we're still learning.
Right.
Okay? And whether it be tomorrow, whether it be a week from now, or whether it be the day that you go to close your eyes for the last time, at some point, something that you thought you knew, you now know different. You now feel different.
True.
And I think that if Ali had been alive, or, remained alive, I believe that he would have continued to evolve his opinions.
True.
I believe that he would. I would like to hope that he would, because I would like to hope that for any human being that's ever existed.
Right.
I would like to believe that
my views have changed over the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Quite a bit. Quite a bit. Well, one thing I'd like to talk about from a sports perspective when it comes to Ali.
Gotcha.
His style in the ring changed quite a bit. He was... When you think of a heavyweight boxer, you think of a big, hulking,
lumbering. Yeah, and that wasn't Ali.
No, he was so light on his feet.
Very, very fast.
He would bounce. He basically
floated like a butterfly and stung like a bee.
He really did.
Yeah.
He reminded me of Carl Weathers' character in the Rocky movies.
Creed.
Yeah, Apollo Creed. Because Apollo Creed was the heavyweight champion of the world in the movie, and he was pretty thick. You know, not like as big as guys get now, but he was pretty thick. But he also danced around the ring, and I hate to even use the word dance, but he was very light on his feet, and he was hard to hit because he had good movement, and you couldn't land a punch. It's the same with Ali. One thing that when the Ali movie came out with Will Smith, there was a reporter on, I think it was on ESPN. I was watching it. It was like one of those morning shows on like Sunday morning, and they said, I saw the movie. And I've seen the Liston Ali fight over and over again. And there's one thing I noticed which was a huge difference. Will Smith bulked up top, but he didn't have the legs. He had chicken legs compared to Ali. And if you look at a picture of Ali in 1964, he had thighs that could probably crush walnuts and 10 walnuts at once.
Yeah, he was a swole guy.
Yeah, but he was more swollen in the legs than he was in the arms. I mean, he was well built up top, but his legs were very trunkish, if you want to call it that.
Right.
And as he aged, and also as he matured as a boxer, one of the things that you saw him do in, I think it was the Thrilla in Manila, which was against Foreman in '74. He used the rope-a-dope.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Where basically he just kind of took punches,
right?
because he thought Foreman would tire out. It was kind of like in Rocky 3, where Rocky kept taking punches from just like, hey, you ain't so bad, come take another shot, which is what worked. And just like with Mr. T's character, George Foreman got tired out by about the 8th round, and that's when Ali was just like, "You're my bitch,"
right? And it's over with. Flipped it on him.
Yeah, just completely flipped it on him. So, that's a lot of changes in his career.
And my question to you, being a sports aficionado as you are, how pivotal do you believe Ali's role as far as how he performed in the ring? How do you believe that influenced future boxers? If you could name 3 boxers, and you look at their footage or you've seen their fights, how many of them can you say, I see Ali in them?
I'll be honest with you, not too many. And the main reason is because of the physicality. Because when you think, I would say I see more of Ali in your middleweight and your lightweight boxers than I do in your heavyweights.
Gotcha.
Because the only other guy in my lifetime in the past 37 years that I've seen that dominated the sport, just like you, if you had money and you were going to bet, you bet on this guy because you knew he was going to win. Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
But Tyson was shorter, didn't have as long of a span. But when he hit you, motherfucker, you are getting hit.
Right, yeah, you knew it.
Yeah. I mean, Ali was a tactician. He would follow up his jabs with these great hooks and, solid uppercut. But you couldn't hit him back because he was constantly moving and you couldn't follow him. Tyson was actually more like Sonny Liston in the fact that he would just basically come up and he would be this just like ball of muscle. And because he didn't have a long reach, he had to like get in there and then just pound you until your guts were like, ground beef.
Right. Yeah, he was a juggernaut.
Right. Yeah. But your guys like a Roy Jones Jr., who was pound for pound the best boxer for, I would say, a solid 10 years, that would be a guy that I've seen that probably reminded me the most. Because, I mean, first off, I believe Jones Jr. moved over 5 weight classes. He moved up and down. Right. Most guys, as they get older, they just keep moving up.
Yeah, he flexed quite a bit, though.
Yeah, I mean, but
that was beneficial for him, though.
Yeah.
That was very beneficial.
Exactly. He made a lot of money, won a lot of championships, won a lot of titles. But I would say just from a pure, if I had to say one guy who was close, and Sugar Ray Leonard is another guy.
Yeah.
But again, he wasn't a heavyweight. He was a middleweight or welterweight, I think it was. And don't ask me to explain the difference because I don't know. I'm not as huge of a boxing fan.
Right. And keep in mind, I find some of those terms like insulting, like flyweight. Yeah, that's dickish.
Well, and one of the biggest problems with boxing, in my opinion, today, and the reason that it's nowhere near what it used to be, is the rise of MMA.
Yeah,
it's more violence, and people love maximum amount of violence, and you get to use your feet, and you get to take people to the ground,
and I think that was the rise of Tyson right there, the violence aspect.
Yeah,
because boxing didn't used to be about fighting in general didn't used to be about unmitigated violence.
Right.
It used to be about tactics. It used to be about endurance.
Right.
It didn't focus so much on strength and
or
power.
biting somebody's ear.
Well, I mean, you do what you got to do, bro.
I'm gonna eat your children.
But anyway,
that's what Tyson said.
He did.
There was an interview with the two of them together. He's like, I was hungry.
Oh wow! Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tyson coming into the game represented.
He revitalized the sport.
He revitalized the sport, but I don't want to say revitalize the sport. He changed the brand.
He did,
because I believe that the sport aspect out of it kind of died right around the time that Tyson came in. I think that from that point, it was just kind of a money and promotions game.
True.
And whatnot. And the only way
look
to
at Don King.
Yeah, don't even get me started.
Son of a bitch.
Don't even get me started. But to get to the top of that mountain, you had to be a circus freak, basically. You had to be, that ball of muscle, like you called it. And so you started seeing more credence being lent to power hitters.
Yeah.
Because I admire the control I admire the fact that while being pummeled, while being hit in the head, hit in the face,
Right.
you have to figure out how, A, to stop him from hitting you in the face, B, hit him in the face, and C, stay awake long enough to do that as many times until he goes to sleep.
I just thought of one boxing champion, semi-recent,
Okay.
Lennox Lewis.
Okay.
He and Evander Holyfield
Yeah.
had some really good matches, had some really good bouts.
Gotcha.
Lewis,
they fought several times, right?
They did fight several
Yeah.
times. Yeah, Evander Holyfield was another one who was a really good heavyweight champion.
Right.
Lennox Lewis, for me, outside of the dancing feet, he reminded me most of Ali.
Gotcha.
Because he was a tactician. He was pure tactician. He would just jab, 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 and he just kept jabbing and just inflicting a little bit of punishment here and there,
Right.
until he could land. He just wore you down.
Yeah.
Which is a lot like Money Mayweather. Mayweather's one of the. I mean, he's got the fastest hands I've ever seen. I mean, he's like he reminds me of Bruce Lee when it comes to the amount of speed in his punches.
Right. Right.
And so but you never saw either of these two gentlemen just knock the fuck out of somebody.
Right. Right.
They just wore them down over round after round after round.
Right.
And then finally, they just eventually go down because they're just too damn tired.
It's a battle plan.
It
It's
is
a
a
battle
battle
plan.
plan.
It's not just purely physical.
Right.
That shit is emotional and psychological as well. If you've got somebody who's just been beating the shit out of you for like 40 minutes, that's got to wear on your mind.
Diana, the time for the ball game changed. Quick question, Diana, since you're on, Enterprise or Defiant, which is more iconic? There.
Oh, here we go.
You're going to be sorely disappointed.
Here
Yeah, it
we
might be sorely disappointed.
Here
That's
we
okay,
go.
but I'm saying iconic. Like, most people know what the hell if they see a picture of the Enterprise and see a picture of Defiant, who's going to recognize it more? That is iconic.
You go ahead and tell him what you told me this morning.
Okay, you tell me what you told him
About the
this
ship.
About
Leave
the
the rest
ship,
of that
yeah.
stuff.
morning. What?
About the ship.
Okay.
I don't know what they talk about in the morning. I don't want to know.
either.
I know what I talk about in the morning. Trust me, if it's anything like that.
And Diana, I'm
it'll
sorry
warp
if
your
you were
mind.
disappointed that it wasn't supposed to be here, okay?
Damn.
Sorry. Okay.
Damn.
Shall we continue on, Ali, or should we do a list of very, very, very streamlined sports report because we're kind of
We
got 2 minutes.
We got 2 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Truncated sports report.
Okay.
You got any boxing news?
No.
No.
Oh, yeah, I got boxing news. Yeah, Muhammad Ali died.
That
Here's
was
my-
dickish.
Wow.
That was dickish.
Yes, it was. Nobody gives a shit about boxing anymore.
Ugh.
Except for a few guys. But yeah, it's all MMA now.
Ugh.
All right, so do a quick little baseball. We're going to skip the Blues.
Speaking of which, you remember that?
I do remember
You
that.
remember that? My son brought me that yesterday. It
Yeah.
is the softcore T-ball training ball my son played with when he was like 4 or 5.
Oh, iconic? Well, I guess most people would recognize the Enterprise before they would recognize the Defiant, but I love the Defiant.
Yeah,
right.
most people.
Right. Yes, most people. That's what makes it fucking iconic. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I'll make this easy. Okay. Google definition of iconic.
I wish.
Here we go. No. Hold on. I'm going to interrupt you.
Okay.
Well,
Of
he's running
relating
into a sports report now.
of relating to
Yeah.
or of the
Yeah.
nature of an icon.
Look at
Okay.
that. It's 1 o'clock.
Yeah,
Yeah. That was your
We
sports
do,
report.
motherfucker. We did 2 hours by ourselves last week.
we did.
We had 120 fucking minutes. You give me 10 goddamn minutes to do a sports.
You know what I
report.
wish I could get? I wish I could get a boxer's promotion fight for this Enterprise versus Defiant thing. I wish I could get like voice
that shit
samples
on
it. Yeah,
Pay-per-view.
I'm the greatest starship of all time. I got photon torpedoes and I ain't afraid to use them.
I got
Yeah,
a
I take
cloaking
the Enterprise.
shield.
I take the Enterprise.
I got a cloaking shield. Fuck you.
Oh yeah, that's some
That's some what? Say it.
that's bullshit.
Oh, what the fuck ever.
That's some bullshit.
The cloaking device represented a new age of agreement between the Romulan Empire and the United Federation of Planets.
But again,
Asshole.
Preach
it's
it.
not.
Preach it.
It's not
What?
I
iconic.
said, preach it.
Thank you.
Captain Kirk was a cheater.
What?
Cheater.
Cheater.
Who was a cheater?
Cheater.
Captain Kirk.
Well, what the
Wait.
fuck does Kirk have to
I don't-
do
I
with
don't know
it?
what
He
you
just
went
wanted to
to.
throw that out there. He was having a Kanye moment. You know, like when he was doing that commercial, he was just like,
Wait,
George Bush doesn't care about black people. Remember that one?
Yes.
Yes, Ed was having that moment.
I was like, where the fuck did Kirk come into this?
I don't even know. Yeah, because
The Enterprise.
but we're talking about the Enterprise D, which is the from the next
Picard.
generation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Picard.
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 That-
Okay, now that should be
Hold
a
on, wait,
Crazy
wait,
Four
hold on,
tournament.
hold on, Ed.
Yeah.
Do you even know the